Hey everybody, welcome back to Cosplay University. I'm Adonis Cosplay, and today we're going to teach you guys how to style a wig. Specifically, a long wig, more specifically, Link's wig from Breath of the Wild. So I'm going to walk you through how to cut it, how to style it, how we're going to do it, and how to make it not look like this straight out of the box. This wig is called Inigo by Arta Wigs, and its color is ginger blonde. The things you're going to need for this are obviously a wig. Hopefully you can see through it. You're going to need some scissors. It don't really matter what kind they are. These are just cheap generic scissors you can buy at the store. And for his wig specifically, we're going to need a hair tie. And this is just a blonde hair tie I picked up at the pharmacy. Alright, let's style this thing. Let's go over what you're going to need for this. First thing I would recommend is a wig head. As you can see, my wig is sitting on that wig head. You can get yourself a wig stand, or you can cut it on yourself or on a friend, but I would recommend a wig head because it's just going to make things a whole lot easier for you. I would also recommend obviously having a good pair of sharp scissors. We talked about that hairband earlier, and having a good set of reference pictures makes everything a whole lot easier as well. So as you can see, I found some pictures of Link from Breath of the Wild. This is actually off of a figure that's coming out for him, and it was the best quality pictures of close-up of his hair that I could find, and I took it, and we're going to run with it. We're going to make it look as close to this as we can. I tried to grab a few different angles. As you see, we have the front, a little bit of the side, and then mainly the back, and that's going to really help us get this together. His hair isn't super complicated, but it's got a lot of funny pieces, like his ponytail and his sideburn kind of hair things that hang down to the sides. I don't know what you really call that, but overall, this should be a pretty easy wig to style. As you can see, I already put some ties in the wig where I wanted his sideburn pieces to go. We're just going to call them sideburns because I don't have a better name for them. But I put the wig on, I kind of separated the hair where I wanted it, and I tied both of these up. So now I know they're in the right spot, and they're not going to get in our way. It's also a good idea, everybody, before you get started, is to put something down on whatever table you're working on. This is just a trash bag. It'll help with cleaning up the hair later on and keep you from having a big mess. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is to do the ponytail. I have my wig here. It's on the wig stand. I already tied off the hair for the sideburns. We're going to turn it around. This is a lot of hair to work with. He's got a lot of a ponytail, but if you notice, if you look at some reference pictures, the bottom right here, or I guess it would be underneath here, hangs down a little bit. So he's got a lot of hair, a little bit of hair left over. So we're going to grab a lot of hair from right here, starting on both sides. You can kind of even fish your fingers through to get the same amount on each side, or to stay at the same line in the wig. And by that I mean I'm only pulling hair from one spot. So all of this is on the same line. So I grabbed all this hair from one end to the other, and make sure you have enough left over that you're happy with it, and then it matches your reference pictures. And then you're going to go ahead and put a hair tie in this part. And there it is, a nice little ponytail. We've pulled hair from both sides. I've left this underneath part right here, so we're going to cut that later. And then we've got this in the back. This is a little bit too long. This is obviously a lot too long. So we're going to trim that up, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a second. Okay guys, grab your scissors. We're going to go ahead and start cutting on this wig. Now Link's hair in the back is probably about half as long as this wig is. So this needs to be trimmed up to around here, all around the bottom. But one thing you don't want to do, and you never want to really do this with wigs, is cut straight across. So cutting across like this, that's no good, especially for wigs. It's not going to look realistic, and most anime or video game characters, their hair is spiky and it's got a lot of texture, and you can really see the definition in it. And unless their hair is cut straight across is not what you want to do. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do this real quick. It's going to be pretty easy. You're going to take a chunk of hair that you want to cut, and you're going to start by cutting straight forward at the hair. So if I want the hair to end right here, I'm going to cut up at it until I get to that height. So you see I'm cutting straight into the hair. And this, we can move that out of the way, leaves a more jagged edge to your hair, or to your wig. Now obviously this is not perfect, and this is not what we want to leave it at. So we're going to continue to keep cutting into it, keep adding that texture until we get a nice tapered look. You can vary the differences, so I can cut small, I can cut really deep in some parts, and that's going to make our hair look a lot better. We're going to go ahead and do this all the way around the bottom, and I'm going to show you guys what the end result is. Real quick, don't forget, you can always cut more hair off, but you can't add it back on. So, cut longer first, and if it's not where you want it to be, you can always cut shorter, but make sure you don't cut too short on the first try. Alright, we've done half of the bottom of the hair so far. And as you can see, I've actually kind of put 2 layers in this. We have this top layer right here, which has these 2 spikes. Roughly, again, we're just kind of shaping it right now. And then we have this under layer here. Layering your wig is going to give you a much more realistic look. So you want to do this all the way across the bottom so you don't look like a flat cartoon. Alright guys, I thought I'd go ahead and show you how I specifically cut one of these lengths of hair. So I have all the rest of the back pretty much cut. It's not perfect, I'm definitely going to go over it a second time, but I wanted to show you exactly how I do it in case you guys have never seen this before. So this is about the length that I'm starting as, or that I'm wanting my hair to be, so I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to get rid of this, so I said don't cut across earlier, but if you know you're taking chunks out of the hair, you can go ahead and cut across. So I don't want this much. It's just going to make my life a lot easier if I just take that off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop into this hair to make it less flat. So we said we don't want flats, we're going to cut right into it. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut straight up into the hair. Now I'm not going a ton, I'm not trying to cut the hair shorter a lot, or that much, just because I already cut a lot off that I wanted gone. But what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of taper the sides. So right now, it's choppy, but it's all about the same length. When you're dealing with points in wigs, you're going to want to taper the length from shorter up top here to longer towards the bottom. And you can either do one side or both sides. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Make sure, and I just hold the hair between my fingers like this, make it easier for me. So right here, I want this hair to stop on the edge right about here. So I'm going to cut high up. Everybody see that? This one's way shorter now. But now I'm going to cut next to it, a little bit closer to the bottom, a little bit closer to the bottom until I kind of make my way down. And you see I'm going back and forth with my scissors to give it more of like a jagged edge. So you're going to do that on both sides. Or like I said, you can do one side and then you're set. That's it. You can keep playing with it until you like it. But that's it. You've got yourself some hair that's going to look pretty good. Now, like I said, these are not done. I'm definitely going to cut on them some more, give them more texture, do that same tapering effect. You can do it to the front as well as the sides to give it more texture, and then you're good to go. I would recommend trying the wig on occasionally so you know it fits nice and good. So you know where you're cutting it. So sometimes wig heads, like this one I have back here, that's not the same size as my head, so I'm going to put the wig on to make sure I like how I'm cutting it. We finished the bottom part, at least. So yeah, this is about how long I wanted it. You can see it's pretty choppy. There's definitely some layers in there, and it sits right underneath this ponytail. I think it looks pretty good. We're going to go with this. We're going to style it later, but for now we're just going to continue to cut the rest of this wig. And you may be asking, Adonis, why did you start with the back? Why didn't you start with the front? Well, I like to start with the back because if I am having a bad day with hair cutting or I'm just not feeling it, you see less mistakes in the back. So it kind of gets your bearings starting back here, and then you can work your way to the stuff that people see, like the bangs and the sides and parts you don't want to mess up. Next is the ponytail. We're going to give this baby a good old chop chop. Same rules apply, guys. Give it layers, give it some depth, cut it the exact same way we tried to cut the last one, and then just use your reference pictures that I have over here, so I'm looking that way. Use your reference pictures and try to get it as close as you can. Okay guys, we just finished up cutting the ponytail. As you can see, we've added quite a few layers into here. It tapers off longer at the bottom, shorter at the top, shorter underneath here, and then it's shorter on the sides as well. So it kind of, spin it around, it's kind of got this overall shape that leads to a point at the bottom. Again, I just looked at some reference pictures and cut it how I see fit. This is obviously not how it's going to look at the end because we still have to style it. But you've got your ponytail cut, you've got half a hamster over here, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the top of the head, or probably the bangs. So we'll do the bangs first. Okay everybody, we're going to do the bangs next for Link's wig, and I hope this is showing you the right thing, but this is the left side of his head. This side is the left. So this is a left part, and it's going to be right over his eye, basically. Yep, this is over his left eye, and so we're going to get started on that. Let me show you again the reference pictures, and we can kind of compare and contrast the wig and see what we're going to do. Okay, so as you can see, again, this wig is parted on his left side here, and the reference pictures we're using, it shows the same. So that's what we want to do. We're going to try to make this nice and pieced. So we're going to cut these individual strands, as well as some that are deeper into the wig. Hang on one second. Up here. So we want to cut more layers up here, not just the front. Big mistake that some people make is they only cut around the outside of the wig without actually cutting into the body of the wig, and that's going to leave you looking like a bull head. So let's go ahead and cut this, and we'll get it started. We'll use these pictures. Hopefully it'll look good. Okay guys, so we're doing the bangs now, and before we get started on cutting these, I wanted to show you, you can see in the reference picture I have right here, his hair kind of parts all the way down the sides. We parted it initially right here, but I wanted to pull some of the hair over to kind of make that part line. So initially you'll have like one spot at the top of this wig that all of the hair comes from. Just take some of the strands that go off to the side and then pull them over here. So you can see I have his part line going all the way over here. And you actually have to pull some from the back to the front. So just do that, and then we'll go ahead and get cutting on the top of the wig and the bangs, and it'll give a more realistic look, like he has an actual hairline rather than all of his hair sprouting from the top of his head like a radish. Okay, we've essentially got the bangs done, and by bangs, it's the front part and kind of on both sides. It doesn't look like much right now, which is like 99% of the time when you do a wig and you cut it and it doesn't look like much. It's because you've only done half the job. So we're going to go ahead and start styling this. And then the only other part we haven't cut are the sides, these pieces right here, what we call it, sideburns. And we're going to do that after we start styling. So we're going to get this kind of put together so it's not so messy. We'll take the hair back and the ponytail, we'll tie it back, and we'll get everything out of the way, and we'll get it styled. And this is the fun part, aka the hard part. Not really, cutting's the hard part. Alright, so people are going to ask, it doesn't really matter what kind of hairspray you use to style your wig, and yeah, we're going to be using hairspray to style our wig. This is what I have on hand, and a lot of people swear by this. I don't think it's a huge deal what kind you use, but I mean, you know, you do you, so it's whatever. But this has got to be glued, freezing, blast, spray, ice pick, whatever, I don't know. Screaming hold for hair. Screaming. Loud hair, alright. So, that's what I'm going to be using. It's like $6 for this bottle, I don't know. But again, if you have hairspray, it's going to work. It's not a big deal. Just remember that the more hairspray you use in your wig, the harder your wig is going to be. And you don't really want hard wig pieces with link, because his hair is more natural and less anime style, less spiky. So we want to use kind of wisp spritzes to make his hair look normal. I'll give you a demonstration and we'll go from there. Okay, here's the method I use to style spikes in my hair. It's pretty easy. You do a little bit of spray and you kind of shape it with your fingers. And if you have a hairdryer, you can use a hairdryer to make it go faster, to make it freeze in place faster, but it's not going to really make a difference because we're not using a whole lot of hairspray. So you could either just wait or blow on it and it'll stay in place. So we're just going to do this front piece right here. Again, I'm just kind of grouping it with my fingers. Nothing major. It's not going to be a hard spike because you don't want that in the front of your head, especially for length. It's going to look funny. So we do just a little bit on the top and on the bottom. You can kind of move it around with your fingers. There's a little piece out to the side here, so we're going to split it. And again, look, right there, boom. It's nothing too crazy. It's not in your face and obnoxious how hard it is. And you're going to go ahead and do that for a bunch of these pieces, and it's going to separate them enough to make it look normal without looking like he's an anime character, which is what we're going for. So do this to the bangs, to the parts on the back, behind the neck, and on the bits in the ponytail, and you'll be good to go. And then we'll go ahead and walk you through the sideburn pieces. Okay guys, so this is the sideburn and one of the last parts that we're going to do for this wig. It is split into 5 pieces, so if you have your sideburn hanging out right here, there's one piece that's split off that cuts off about halfway down, and then this is split into 4 pieces, 2 in the back, or I'm sorry, 1 in the front, 1 in the back, and then 2 in the middle that are kind of connected. The one in the back is a little bit longer than the one in the front, and then the 2 in the middle are the longest. So it's going to go longest, second longest, shortest, and well, shorter, and then shortest. This one's about half. So cut those at the right length. Make sure that this brushes about, or just barely touches your shoulders, and you should be good to go. Continue styling your wig, and then we'll see the finished product. And we are finished, pretty much. So we go around again, we fix the bangs. As you can tell, that part that we did earlier is showing right through here. It's going back. Half of this here is going this way. The other half is going this way. He's got his sideburns hanging down with the shorter pieces on each side. He's got his ponytail, and you can obviously tighten and style this ponytail a little bit better, which I haven't done yet, but I'm going to redo this. So the only difference between this and the finished one is going to be I'm going to tighten this up, and then I will do to this what I did to the front. So we'll spray the bangs. The back is nice and put together, but also messy looking, just like regular hair would be on the back. And that's it, guys. You styled Link's hair. Awesome job. What I do whenever I'm styling wigs is typically I will keep working on them, so I'm not 100% happy with this right now, but it's late and I'm calling it a day. But my convention isn't for a while, so I will continue to work on it and continue to tweak it and make sure I get it to a point where I really love it, and then I'll work on it from there, or we'll go from there. My Kakashi wig that I did, I've styled 2 or 3 times, so I assume I'll do the same with this one. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll finish up the rest of this series by making everything else. So I hope you guys are excited to wear your Breath of the Wild cosplay, starting with the Link wig. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Want to know the best part about wig styling? You get to create your own guinea pig when you're done. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That's so much hair. Gross. And that, my friends, is why we put a trash bag down. Easy cleanup.